One of the most difficult things is to put everything into perspective, to explain to people who are maybe learning for the first time what's going on. How do you work through this? How do you wade through it? That's what we do. And that's what we're going to be doing right here today. That's what's the critical part of everything that's going on right now, because this is one of the most fascinating times I have ever lived in, and for so many reasons. When you speak to people, find out what level they're at. What I mean by that is, how deeply involved in a subject matter are they? Do they really know what's going on? Never discuss something with somebody at a level they don't understand. Pick your subjects very carefully. Depending upon the subject matter, just absolutely gear and frame your discussion. If you're talking to somebody who's a Trump supporter, find out a little bit. Are they a Fox News person? Okay, that tells me that. If they're going to be a Fox News Trump supporter, that's one thing. If they're a Trump supporter, but let's say maybe an Alex Jones type, that tells me something else. If they're CNN, it's another story completely. There are things sometimes that the president does. Today represents the 65th day of a 1,461-day term. This is 4.5% of the amount of time that the president has actually been in office. 4.5%. That's it. And yet it seems like he's been around forever. I was watching something which is very interesting. How do I say this? I was watching, let me see, just a second. I was watching Tammy Bruce, is it? You understand? This is the most important thing in the world. Hang on a second. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put you on hold for 1 second. This is very, very important. Stand by for 1 second. I've got a very important call. I have got to talk with Mrs. L. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. My friend, that was Mrs. L. And when she calls, I stop for her. That's all. Forgive me, but she comes first. I think you understand that. Now, let us continue with what we're saying. I was watching Tammy Bruce, who seems to be a very nice person, very nice. I like what she did. She gave one of the most incoherent discussions regarding Israel, Palestine, whatever it is. So I have learned in my particular way that when it comes to Israel, Middle East, Yemen, I just pause and tell the president, you do whatever you want. It is absolutely incoherent. Incoherent. That's number one. Number two, did you see who he picked for his CDC head, theoretically? Did you see this? Dear God, what are we doing here? Pilgrim says, happy Wednesday, Uncle L. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Did you hear whom he selected? Disaster. Absolutely disaster. They're finding things that Bobby Kennedy has said. We're going to see this. I'm telling you right now, every day the whole signal business. Did you see this business? Is it important? Whatever. Is it stupid? Yeah. Is it the end of the world? No. Okay. That's just the way it is. So the first thing is, I'm trying to tell you, Understand, if you've never done this before, it's not going to be 100%. There is nothing that I would ever do to want this president to step down or to go back to Biden or anything along those lines. Believe me when I tell you that. Believe me when I tell you that. Absolutely, positively, 100% without any chance whatsoever. However, what he is going to be doing is going to be so terrific, and what Elon is doing, I am so thrilled and excited. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about the 14 terabytes of Epstein secrets that are being uncovered. And we're also going to be finding out, which is very interesting, a couple of things which is critical. We're going to be finding out, and I mean this more than anything else, we're going to be finding out so many great news sources that are not covered by Newsmax and Fox News. Greg Kelly did some interview with the president about Ashley Babbitt, and the president didn't really know. And again, not perfect. But the fact that he's listening, the fact that he's out there is so terrific. So we're going to guide him. We're going to help him. And let me also tell you, there is some incredible stuff that's out there. Do you know there is this move right now? They are absolutely going bananas crazy. Listen to this. To have RT of all of the news sources in the world. They don't want you to hear RT, to have Americans appear on RT, even if they're in other countries. America, I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. What? This makes me say, well, I got to see this. I've got to see this. It's the nut. And they're saying that this is, of course, propagandistic. Who has done more? Who has done more harm in the history of this country than anyone else? Who? Who has that been? What? Is it CNN? Is it MSDNC? Is it New York Times? Is it the Washington Post? Who? Somewhere. What has RT ever done to do anything to destroy our sovereignty, to besmirch and libel and defame the President of the United States, to countenance and agree with this absolute wanton, crazy lunacy of people? This is so we have a lot to talk about. But the good news is 14 terabytes, theoretically, of Epstein secrets, okay, being uncovered. What they're going to be, I don't know. But we're making tremendous progress. And I think Pam Bondi realized the other day that, you know what, they try to make me look like a fool with this. Well, not anymore. So sit back, my friends, get ready. But before we go on, this critical word. Are you feeling buried under credit card bills? Personal loans piling up? Well, you're not alone, and you don't have to face it alone either. Millions of Americans are struggling with debt, and for many, National Debt Relief has been the trusted solution. With just one call or a few clicks, you can find out if you qualify for a proven program that could reduce what you owe and help you become debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. National Debt Relief works by negotiating directly with your creditors on your behalf. That means lower payments, less stress, and no more collection calls. They've helped over 500,000 people resolve more than $10 billion in debt, and they're ready to help you too. There's no upfront cost, no obligation, and no pressure. Just real support from a team that's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and ranked #1 for debt relief services in America. So if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card or unsecured debt, don't wait. Go to NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. Take the first step, get your life back, because you deserve peace of mind. My friend, I am going to tell you what we know, and we don't need people to verify this, just like we know what's going on, regarding the Kennedy assassination. The critical aspects, the critical truth regarding the Epstein situation is so mandatory. We cannot let them stop for a moment. We have to say repeatedly, what happened. Anybody who tells you that they do not want you to pursue this means volumes. Why would somebody not want you to pursue something? Think of the people who are saying nothing to see here. Whenever somebody says nothing to see here, when Ben Shapiro and others talk about, what is it, Kennedy and others, what are we talking about here? Whenever somebody says nothing to see here, whenever somebody says don't but, now you know and I know that there was something so important, so critical. And if anything else, my friends, it tells us a number of things. Raul says, Sean Atwood's life is blessed and wonderful. Sean Atwood's life is blessed and wonderful. I would agree. That's a very interesting comment all of a sudden. Thank you. I agree. That's just so interesting. In any event, you throw some good stuff at me every now and then. Sometimes a comment will come in and you wonder, what the hell is that all about? I don't know. Let it go. All right. So number one, we are going to hear today, my friend, the news, the story. This is so critical. Are you going to and are you checking out my X account? I'm getting finally away from Twitter. Are you getting that? Are you getting anywhere near this? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most important part because right now, this is so monumentally fascinating and necessary. And I want to give you today's piece. By the way, wasn't it wonderful last night? Didn't we have, I know it was delayed with the Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett, I just did a brand new video on her to explain how the Trump election folks have to focus dramatically, quickly on this. They have to focus on this very critically because you've got to make sure, this is important, you've got to make sure that we follow through with this. Let me throw some other things at you too. You're going to love this. Ready for this? Just some other interesting things. Entitled Queen Fannie Willis and her garage door lover Nathan Wade. Remember those two who they said, we have no relationship anymore. They were spotted at LAX. The same pair who swore their romantic relationship ended in 2023 were seen out and about. Maybe they were sipping on some Grey Goose, who knows? But there they are, lying per usual. Unbelievable. Here's the other story, too. Attorney General Pam Bondi has revealed that the Department of Justice is reviewing Epstein files previously concealed by the New York FBI. These documents, this is on my X, these documents expose hundreds of child victims, underscoring the extent of Epstein's criminal network. Bondi emphasized that those accounts those responsible will face justice. FBI whistleblower Kyle Seraphin confirmed that the DOJ is prioritizing these new Epstein files with a dedicated task force at the DC FBI headquarters analyzing over 14 terabytes of data. This effort aims to ensure accountability and prevent further cover-ups. And also, we need to get to the bottom of how this happened in the first place. These developments highlight the ongoing struggle. This is from my X account. Follow along. These developments highlight the ongoing struggle between patriots within the FBI and deep state operatives attempting to suppress information. The identification of additional victims and the exposure of those involved in Epstein's network are critical steps towards justice. The public eagerly awaits the full release of these documents, anticipating further revelations, etc. By the way, you want to hear something even cooler? You kids may call this cool. I don't know. I'm not sure what the kids call things today. But I think this is monumentally cool. Listen to this. This is I want to read this to you. Again, from my X, go to Lionel Media on X. You'll see this one. I found this out today and did not even know it. I want to read this to you. It's about oh, here we go. You're going to love this. A 1944 OSS manual. And the article was called Simple Sabotage Field Manual. Do this. Find for yourself. Spend some time. Research this. OSS 1944 Simple Sabotage Field Manual. Okay? It was a guide for ordinary citizens in Axis-occupied territories to subtly disrupt enemy operations. Listen to what they suggested. This is issued by of course, the CIA's predecessor, the OSS. It outlined both physical sabotage, like damaging tools and things like that, and organizational sabotage, deliberately showing work, listen to me, through bureaucracy, indecision, and excessive rules. Instructions included forming large committees, insisting on procedures, and dragging out meetings, eerily resembling modern institutional dysfunction. Critics today point to an impossible blueprint on how ideological subversion or incompetence can cripple systems from within. I love this. What was once wartime strategy now reads like a manual for the slow decay of bureaucratic efficiency and logic. Doesn't that blow your mind? This is so terrific. I was also watching one of the great pieces, and I recommend this to you wholeheartedly. The great, the one, the only, Joe Rogan, speaking anent and regarding the following. I want to read this to you. It was, and it is, it was, hang on a minute. This was so bloody good. Oh, here we go. Jack Ruby's court-assigned shrink was a MK Ultra doc. This was, you must see, Tom O'Neill. This was I think it was number 1459. Watch the Joe Rogan Experience, number 1459. It was his book, I think, Chaos. And it goes into, if you think you know anything about the JFK stuff, if you love this, this is what you need to do. You also need to find out, which is critical, you need to go to find out more about Dorothy Kilgallen. You also need to find out about who killed Marilyn Monroe. Not that it tells you who killed Kennedy, but it just shows you the diverse, the complexity of the level of intrigue. You see, this is what we have to understand. When I bring people into our world, the first thing I tell people is, I want you to understand something. You're about to see something you never thought even existed. How many of you have been to an insane asylum? Or maybe personally, but how many of you, raise your hand. How many of you, dear friends, have been to a psychiatric ward, an insane asylum? How many? It's I cannot recommend it to you enough. It is something that changed my life. I was a psych major in university, and to make a long story short, it's one of those things which is just absolutely incredible to me. Okay. And the first time you see it, the first time you do it, the first time you go, and I don't mean go, but I mean to be in the actual, like in a county psych ward, to see schizophrenia, to see what this is like. Unless and until you were there, you cannot believe what you are seeing. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? You cannot understand what it is unless you see it. It will blow your mind. And unless you see it, I can explain schizophrenia all day long. I can tell you about what, delusions are. I can describe this, and you will kind of sort of think, I'm making this up, until you see it. And when you see it, you realize, oh my God, it's one of those events in life that changed me. It's never anything religious. Professional wrestling changed my life, which is true. Being around this criminal justice system and being in that, immersed in that world, it gave me a perspective you can't believe. There's a little spice store kind of in the hood, and you have never seen anything like this. There are spices you say, wow, what is it? You've never smelled it. I promise you. So life, dear friend, is what we're trying to do today. It's like trying to get to immerse yourself, to saturate yourself with as much as is possible. And when you, a la that, when you bring somebody into our world and you say, now listen, let me explain to you what's going on here. I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to explain to you MK Ultra. I'm going to explain things like the Kennedy assassination. I'm going to explain operational manuals. I'm going to explain to you that beneath and behind the world of, how do I say this? The veneer, the Potemkin village, the central casting, the Disney set of government, behind that, behind the president, behind President Trump, behind the DOJ, behind the, you name it, behind and below. Behind and below. There are worlds and people and organizations that you have to understand. And when you get involved in this world that we are in, from the first time you enter, you will never be the same. And you will spend the rest of your life talking to people who know nothing about what you're talking about. They know nothing about this. And they will call you crazy because they don't like what you're saying, or they just don't like you. Most of the time, a lot of people just don't like me, which is fine. I don't really care. There is nothing about them. And I realize this because most people I don't particularly care for. I don't need, I don't dislike. I don't need people. I have no interest in making friends. If I do, fine. If not, whatever. I don't really care. And most of the time I found out all my life that people don't like me. And one of the reasons why organizations don't like me is because I have nothing but utter contempt for the morons, the maroons, the jadruls, the chidrulos, the idiots, the babos, the subliterates who are running various organizations. I've been in news organizations where nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything. I've been at radio stations where the program directors are idiots. They don't know. They were in sales or something. And they wonder why terrestrial radio is dying. They don't know anything. How do you not know anything? In the days of music radio, the program directors, whatever, and the music directors, they knew music. They really did. These people don't. So when I bring this to your attention, remember this. You're entering this world. Don't tell people what we talk about. They're going to call you crazy. CNN the other day had something about calling chemtrails, again, conspiracy theories. They're still doing it. I have no time to, I'm not going to, correct them. I'm just not in the business. Okay. We're talking about this when I tell somebody, do you know that Jeffrey Epstein was a nobody who was pulled and culled, cultivated, and recruited. And this is important. Recruited most probably by either Israel, and we always throw in Mossad. Okay, fine. Because don't forget there's Amman too. There's a military. with the conjunction of either plus 5 eyes or plus MI6 or plus whatever you want to call it. And it's probably not, quote, CIA. You're not going to have a division that's going to say, I'm sorry, we never signed off on that. There is no Epstein division here. I'm sorry. You can go to Langley all you want. They don't have divisions. They don't have this thing where, okay, CIA, you're doing this most. No, it doesn't work like that. Plausible deniability, compartmentalization, they won't have nothing to do with it. You don't even bring this up. We get it done, but we don't say it as such. When Angleton and other people dealt with whatever, they didn't invest. Well, they might have done it there because it was a different time, but it's different now. So this guy came along and they said, we're going to pull you out of obscurity. This is a guy who never, I don't even think he went to college. And lo and behold, he becomes a teacher at the prestigious Dalton School in New York. And the headmaster at the time, his rabbi, his guru, so to speak, was Bill Barr's father. Not that he was involved in it, but okay. Then that became involved in the world of stocks, and he was pulled, and then Les Wexner, by the way, came along, and there you have it. So you got Les Wexner, you had Ehud Barak, you got all these people, and it just, I mean, all they have to do was take a stamp and put Israel, boom, like in big stencil, boom. You get Alan Dershowitz. And I'm not saying he's involved in it, but I'm saying he was his lawyer. Alan Dershowitz is almost as much of the military, the government, the operational goings-on of Israel as anyone. And I'm saying that not furtively. I don't say that. He says that proudly, but proudly. There are people, there are us, there are people here where we act on behalf of, we act in conjunction with. There are people who are members, who are citizens. Okay, so let me just say this: you also have to pull back from this, and please lose the sinister connotation of Israel. Now, I got news for you, and I want you to listen to me. If you watch these people, if you watch how do I say this? And I'm not going to say anti-Israel, I don't believe that, but the pro-Palestinian or anti-Israel or anti-Bibi, if you get the Mehdi Hassans, if you get Katie Halper, if you get the Blumenthal, these people are not, they are seething not Israel the country, but Israel the government. Absolutely. They can't see straight. And I'm telling you, it obscures them. It obscures their vision. It doesn't mean they're not right. It just means they are so. And when you lose yourself in the fight, when you become so enwrapped in it that you just boil and see that you lose perspective, be very careful of that. I want somebody who says something like this: yes, there is a definite connection between this, and we certainly want to look at this, though there's no information right now. I will certainly look to see whether he was acting in concert with either some type of a joint CIA, whatever. That's the way I talk. That's the way, not the Zionists. Okay, when I hear that, okay, there we go. Before there was Trump derangement syndrome and now Elon derangement syndrome, there was Israel derangement syndrome. And I think Dershowitz may have coined that term. And I've seen it. People just lose their mind. What I'm telling you, and I want you to listen and listen carefully. Proceed with your investigation. Whether it's this or 9/11 or vaccine or whatever your thing is, whatever it is, do not lose your mind in the anger. When you lose your mind in the anger, when you become so enwrapped in it that you can't even see straight, you don't do anybody any good. Okay? I used to enjoy thoroughly it was given the name the Truther movement. Because I always said, and I will still say right now, that the official narrative of 9/11 is bizarre. It's bizarre. It's the strangest thing you've ever heard. It's crazy. But I don't know who did what. I can't tell you. I'm a lawyer. I told you this. I can't tell you who did what. Who pulled the... I don't know anything about that. But I can tell you what does and doesn't make sense. The physical evidence, the testimony which is inconsistent, the impossibilities, a lot of stuff. But that doesn't mean I know who did it. Okay? There's a lot of people out there, these self-styled JFK historians, who themselves cannot tell you who pulled the trigger. But they talk about everything from Ben Gurion to this, to the Carlos Marcello and Blakey. And each of them are very, very kind of parochial in their understanding. They listen to groups of people, and they follow this kind of they have their favorite theories, okay? And they confuse an inconsistency with proof. For example, did the mob kill him? I don't know. Did they have anything to do with it? Could very well be. Would make sense. Is there any evidence of that? No. There's evidence of people who would benefit from it, but is there evidence of Carlos Marcello or Santos Trafficante, whoever it is? No. 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 Sorry. Dorothy Kilgallen looks very much like she was assassinated. Any idea that it was that the Kennedys were involved in it? It would point to it, but that's not proof. Do you see what I'm saying? So I can say all day long, we think that Epstein was involved in some kind of honeypot. We think the model works, some kind of an extortion ring. It makes sense. It's a model that works. Who is the person? Who is the person who is the most responsible? Who is the most important and critical person that we need to talk to that we are not talking to? Who is the person that we should be talking to right now, but we're not? Who? I sound like an owl. I will tell you, but first this. If you're watching this, consider yourself warned. Food prices are about to explode, and the time to prepare is now. Listen, go to preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com and secure your 4-week emergency food supply now while supplies last. With new tariffs, listen to me, with new tariffs slamming the global market and inflation spiraling, your grocery bill is about to skyrocket. When the crisis hits, shelves will be empty, and those who didn't prepare will be left desperate. History proves it. Every major economic collapse, every supply chain disruption, the first thing to go is food. You do not want to be waiting in government lines, hoping there's enough left for you and your family. This 4-week emergency food kit delivers over 2,000 calories per day, ensuring you have the nutrients you need and your family needs to weather the storm. It's fortified for survival, packed in rugged, long-term storage containers, and can last up to 25 years. So when disaster strikes, you'll be ready. Order today, and you'll get 4 free 72-hour food kits. That's 12 extra days of meals at no cost. The regular price is $346.80, but right now, you get it for just $247. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, and lock in your emergency food supply before the real panic begins. Now, my friends, I know there are many of you who listen to other people, who watch other shows, and that's terrific. And many of them aren't worth a diddly damn because they expand it beyond the realm of rational thought. Does that make any sense to you? I hope it does. I hope it does, because it's true. I want more than anything else for there to be a quick and an immediate and a totally verifiable conclusion to what happened regarding that sort of thing. And while I suspect definitely there is, I do not believe that the evidence shows that Epstein acted on his own, that he was this freaky guy who decided, hey, I'm going to just keep a bunch of records of this stuff. Why? Because I want to look at them later. I'm kind of sick and I'm weird and no. Now, where are these? We don't know. Where are the thumbnails and the hard drives we don't know. If I had to guess something and I had to tell you what I believe happened, I would say to you that the evidence that was collected and culled and collated and collected and all that jazz was immediately sent to, cataloged by, curated by, collected by, collated by someone else, whether it's, again, Intel or some group, and that we think kind of makes the most sense. I do not believe for a moment that when the FBI walked in, they found boxes of old hard drives and pictures and, memory lane. I don't believe that because it's inconsistent with rational thought. Now, it could be, but I don't believe that happened. And again, I'm just on the outside. As somebody explained one time, a doctor once compared or tried to describe an EEG. He said it's like standing outside of a stadium and trying to guess the score by listening to the crowd. That's what I'm doing right now. So we don't know. We don't know. A lot of these women have already made deals. They say, I'm not going to testify. And good luck, by the way, with trying to get them to testify, because if you find that somebody was a minor and then now they're telling you, I don't want to testify, good luck with that. But who do you think is the most important person? Who do you think? Who do you think? Very simple. Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell. This is it. What the deal is, I have no idea. And this is important, what Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Don Bongino have to realize is that, Ms. Maxwell, you have already been found guilty. You will not be, dare I say, subject to any kind of additional prosecution for that, because double jeopardy and all that stuff. However, we're going to convene a grand jury because we want to go back and we want to find out some things that happened. And only you know this. If she says, I'm not going to tell you. Okay, but we've convened a grand jury and you are a witness. I'm not going to talk to you. Okay. Well, then we're going to hold you in contempt because, we're going to grant you immunity, complete and total use immunity. We will not use, not transactional, but use immunity. We will not be able to use anything that you tell us against you. I'm not going to talk to you. Okay, we're going to hold you in contempt. Fine, I'm in prison. I'm not going to talk to you. Why? Because they've threatened my family, most probably. I've got riches, God knows, some Cayman Island accounts. I don't know what. Somebody's paying me because I brought you. I kept my. Why she is alive, I have no idea. I will never understand that. I'm glad she is. But if I were one of the bad guys, I'm saying as long as she's walking around, she knows everything. Her father, Robert Maxwell, this guy goes back to Intel. It's ridiculous. It'd be better off for her family. Her family could say, whew. I don't understand it. I don't understand any of this. Again, I'm glad. I'm not disappointed. She's not in harm's way, but it makes no sense. But she is critical. She is critical. She knows everything. Where the cameras were, what the purpose was. She went out and she got them. She recruited them. Do you understand this? She recruited. She was the big sister. There was some UN study that most or a tremendous amount of the folks who are actual traffickers are women. Are women. Absolutely. 100%. She can tell you when it started, where the cameras were, who collected them, who came. Every week there was a man with this interesting accent. Where was he? Was he Israeli? Was he American? Was he British? Was he whatever? His name was whatever. And he came in and we went in the back and there was, they had this kind of a recording studio, so to speak. And we had cameras in this camera, this picture, bathroom, bedroom, here, plane, island. Whatever happened to the estate? Whatever happened to the estate? Who owns that? Who owns all of that? Who is the beneficiary of that? Why didn't the government seize that? The entire value of everything. Because it was used like planes are used in drug couriers and drugs. Why? How was that not done? How was it? None of this makes any sense. You can look at all the files you want. You can all the terabytes you want. You can look at all that stuff, left and right. Good for you. If you think the bad guys keep records, you're out of your mind. If you think there's some JFK file there, if you think somebody said, what is this? Well, this is the receipt for the assassins that we paid. Get rid of this. Yeah, but it's the official record. Get rid of this. What are you saving this for? Well, we got to keep records. No, we don't. Well, what if later on they ask for them? Let them ask for them. What are you doing? What are these records? Where do you think, where are the records on the Manson family? But Charlie Manson didn't keep records. Where are the records on the Gotti family? They didn't keep records. Junior Gotti, it is reportedly, he had a list of all his wedding gifts and the names of all these people, which provides a great list. So do you understand how this thing works? I'm glad that we're talking about it. Great. You want to have the files? Terrific. I'm not going to find anything in the files. Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, for all Pam Bondi will tell you is that we've already spoken with Pam Bondi. Without Ghislaine. Yeah, we got her covered. We're not saying anything. We're making them wonder, And that makes it dangerous for her because if I were the bad guys, I'm saying, I don't believe anything. They talked to her. She gave something up. They did. They threatened her family. Because we can threaten your family, but the government can threaten your family too. The government can. UK, we can. So it works both ways. They could easily threaten her. You tell us where this stuff is, or your family's in trouble. However, more likely, the government says, we don't want to know this. Well, why don't you want to know it? Because if I know something, then I've got to do something about it. It's better for me not to know it. It's better for me not to know it. Number two, more probably, how much do you want to bet we've got information that we're going to use on other people? Guess who's got that information? Israel? No, we've got it. Who's we? Depends who we are. You mean Bibi doesn't have that? Nope. But I guarantee you, Bill Gates isn't going to be giving us a hard time anytime soon. What do you mean? Just trust me on that. What? Just trust me on that. He's not going to be giving anybody a hard time on anything. We'll just let Bill Gates just do his thing and pretend to be a eugenicist. He ain't going to give us a hard time. A lot of people aren't going to give us a hard time. Believe me. People you've never even known. People, I can give you names. And not everybody who went to the island or on the plane or they had kids and families. I mean, this guy was quite the socialite. So do you see what I'm saying? Let me recap. Number one, they don't write, there are no documents. I mean, there might be some 302s or, I talked to this person. Number two, somebody keep track of this. The files, they're not in anybody's possession right now. They were most probably removed immediately. If you're running some honeypot or extortion routine, you are not going to allow files and all this stuff to be laying about. It's just not going to happen. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. They're not going to allow that. They're not going to allow that. Number 3, follow this. Ghislaine may have already provided all the information, her prison trip. It's this stupid. Do you know that she is the only person that I'm aware of who was ever found criminally liable of lying on a civil deposition? I shit you not. I didn't even think they even had I didn't even think there was a charge. Everybody lies on those things. They might have already said, listen, Ghislaine already gave up. We know everything. So she's gonna go and do her thing. Yeah. She's gonna collect her her billion or 800,000, whatever it is, from 800 million, I should say, from the other people. But we know everything. We know who was who and who was there. We know who these people are. We want to be able to, at any time, be able to spring this on you. So that's already there. Why they did this in front of people, I will never. There's some things I will just never know. I would have said to them, you're just going to. If all of a sudden you said, or you heard one day, a famed or international financier, Jeffrey Epstein, has been missing. Who? Jeffrey Epstein. Who's Jeffrey Epstein? Well, he was a guy. Well, he's missing. Okay. Nobody would have said anything. But no, they waited till he came back, got him at Teterboro, and got him in a federal jail. They wanted you to know we can get you anywhere. Why they did this, I have no idea. It was a message, but it was a stupid message. Why did you do this? I have no idea. You could have just said, he's gone. What? Even scarier. Ghislaine, you're okay. What? You're not charged with anything. Why? Because he's not charged. It's all fine. It's all hunky-dory. We just close up shop and just move away. Shut it down. He's missing. Oh, well. Goodbye, Ghislaine. Goodbye. Same threats made to family or whatever it is. Just go away. We've got all that we need. I could give you so many different possible scenarios, but I don't know. And you don't know. And nobody knows. Nobody knows why. Same thing with JFK. Nobody knows why. Listen to this great stuff about MK Ultra. Oh my God, it's fascinating. So let me go back to what I said. When you talk to your friends about what we've been talking about, they're going to look at you like, you're scaring me, man. You're talking some kind of crazy stuff. You're just all this intel and yeah. They're not. It's like somebody who's never been to an insane asylum or a psychiatric ward who goes in and says, oh my God, you're right. I had no idea. So this is what you're talking about. Precisely. This is it. Wow. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about stuff that is so wild. But do not lose your mind in this. Do not lose your mind in this. There are people, one in particular, who loves this stuff so much. She has gotten this, she's the authority on this. And she speaks more, I mean, it could be, but baseless and makes us look crazy. That's why, if I ran this, let's say I was with the bad guys, and I say, okay, I'm going to do a kind of a limited hangout in reverse. I'm going to send out and promote as many crazy people as I can to come up with as many crazy ideas to completely destroy this, okay? I'm going to have somebody come up and say that Epstein was an alien. He was a UFO. You know, there's some there's a new one going around now that one of the reasons why they killed Kennedy was because he didn't turn over UFO files. Oh, yeah. I'm not kidding you. I mean, it doesn't get any better. So I let those people go and say, oh, Epstein, you mean like with the UFOs? No, not the UFOs. That's why these people are always let in. Remember a while back when they were talking about kids? You remember was it Wayfair, where they said they were sending kids in furniture? You could go online and see, hey, there's an armoire for $20,000 that's made of particle board. Like, it's not even as good as IKEA. But, oh yeah, they're going to do that. We also said that there were underground tunnels. Remember that one? Oh, yeah. Remember I'm just going to say this, the Wiener laptop. Remember that one? There are people who love this. If I told you that I came up with an idea that said that Epstein he was a mad scientist who wanted to create kind of magic potions where people, have you seen this guy, this biohacker, this guy with his son? He supposedly has the body of a 20-year-old, but he's 60 or whatever it is. What if I were to say that I'm promoting this? I'm promoting these ideas, and that Epstein was a mad scientist, kind of like a Frankenstein, and he was basically doing all this stuff to rewire, reprogram, reconfigure, genetically and otherwise, the aging process. And I just make this up. And you think I'm a lunatic. But guess what happens? I'm getting 2, 3, 4 million followers. I'm going to keep that up. Make the money, get the notoriety. And whether it's true or not is a different story. But people will love it. And you'll go to it because it kind of sort of makes sense. You see, there are people who love exotic versions of the truth. And the truth has nothing to do with it. I think I've gone too far because I think I'm losing you. There's a lot to go on. I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you. But a lot of people are saying, what? I just wanted to see about the files he's talking about. I know. But most people who are listening later on will say, I know exactly what he means. I know exactly what he's saying. And that's whom I'm directing my message to. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? Good. All right, dear friends. So to our benefactors today, Raul and Pilgrim, thank you so much for your incredible and inane charity and generosity. We thank you for this. You are without peer. So much going on, my friends. Stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. That's all I'm going to say right now. Some people are unsubscribed for reasons I do not understand, but please do that. Also, make sure that you follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors and our other channel at Lionel Legal. Until then, my friends, remember these final words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.